Well, good morning again, everybody, as we see David Datzer going around Lisboa and just coming up out of San Francisco, a steep, steep climb, making his way round to the front row of the grid for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. And not that we were suspecting that there could be any kind of problems, but this just does enforce the fact that their riders are happy to race. And we will have 8 laps of the gear circuit, 3.8 miles on each occasion in total. And all the money really going on this man, Erno Kostamo of Finland. But of course, as we've seen in the past, you've got to be on the front row for the cars. You don't necessarily have to be on the front row for the bikes. You have to get a very good start, of course, if you're in with a chance of winning on the bikes. But Erno Kostamo has just been posting times that no one is getting close to. Racecraft is obviously a lot different to qualifying. Erno Kostamo, using his experience, he's been here 2 times before. First made his debut at Macau in 2018, came back in 2019. Put in some solid rides then. With a different looking lineup this year. With a lot of Macau debutants on the track. You have to say Erno Kostamo starts this as red-hot favourite. However, a man not too far from me once said, at Macau, anything can happen. As we've seen in the past, of course. We will have a new winner of the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. None of this field has won before. Most successful, of course, being Michael Rutter. His last win back in 2019, taking his total to 9. Ron Haslam, for quite some time, was the most successful racer at Macau on 6 wins. Stuart Easton, the lap record holder, with 4. A little bit of a who's who of racing, really. Steve Hislop, 3 race wins. Peter Hickman, 3 race wins as well. Could have been 4 back in 2019, but let's just draw a line under that one, shall we? Sado Asami, going back to the 60s and 70s. 3 wins for him. Hiroshi Hasegawa, the first ever Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix winner, with a couple of wins. Mick Grant with 2 wins. And I know if Steve Plater is watching, he's going, come on, Steve Plater, and 2 wins as well. Yeah, Steve Plater winning back in 2006, 2007, and they were great races. Really, really good. And for me, 2 of the best races we saw around Macau at the time. Great battles with the likes of John McGuinness and Connor Cummins. And you could have really back then, maybe unfairly, thrown an accusation of holiday racing before then, but Plater came here, really up the ante. And certainly any accusations of holiday racing certainly went out the window when Steve Plater came to Macau. Rob Hodgson, his 3rd appearance at Macau. He's had a great year this year. Certainly with Dafabet as well, on the Dafabet Kawasaki. First time he's raced a Kawasaki around the gear circuit. He and Danny Horn, very experienced, has been here. In fact, Danny, I think this is his 8th time now in pit lane, Danny Horn. Rob Hodson's right-hand man this year. So Danny certainly knows how to prepare a bike for this circuit. First came here 10 years ago with the Australian rider Dave O'Johnson. In fact, I know Danny was associated with Guy Martin many times, but I was surprised actually. I didn't realise that when Guy Martin came to Macau, Danny wasn't part of his team then. But Rob Hodgson, if he can get a good start from row 2, he sat right behind Kostamo on the grid. If he can get a good start and stay with Kostamo, then we could be on for a real dice. That's not doing a disservice to either Datzer or Murray, who have both looked very quick. And I say they've looked very quick because obviously they are quick. The time sheets have confirmed that. They're 2nd and 3rd on the front row. Lucas Mora on 18 also going well, but there he is, Murray, bike 32 on the Honda. had some cracking races in the cars, but have we saved the best for this morning? Are we going to have an absolute classic? We've had some great ones in the past, of course. Peter Hickman beating Michael Rutter back in 2018 with that audacious move at Mandarin. Incredible. Ian Hutchinson when he came back after breaking his leg for the second time, and Hutchinson's win when his third place after breaking his leg for the first time. That was an incredible performance as well. Certainly those rides stick in the memories, and as I say, the Steve Plater victories as well, certainly in 2006. So we're about...
3 minutes to start.
Well, that took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say we're about 3 minutes away from the start of the race. Erno Costamo, as you'd expect, the Finns all tend to be cool and collective, don't they? Collected. And he's certainly been that way. Sheridan Murray, more used to short circuit racing, i.e. plenty of runoff. How he'll fare in a 14-way scrap around the track. There's David Datzer. He certainly really enjoyed himself so far this week. And I think having qualified second, he'd be disappointed if he doesn't at least make the podium. He's had a good year as well, Datzer, in the International Road Racing Championship, as have some of the riders behind him as well. There's Lucas Mora, bike 18. The Swiss rider, Switzerland's #1 road racer, another Kawasaki rider, also on Pirelli tyres. And here's Rob Hodson trying to keep the win rate going for Great Britain. There's Danny Horn in the sunglasses, who I've just been talking about, but Rob Hodson back at Macau. And I think they were perhaps expecting to be on front row. Well, I mean, we were all expecting Rob Hodson to be on row 1, but it's, again, as I said earlier, the front 2 rows are good. Perez could be an outside shot for a podium, perhaps. And 91, Julian Trummer, surprised really that I thought he might have been on row 2 at least. But Julian Trummer, the Austrian rider, still very happy. And Lauren Hoffman also as well. He could be, gets into a good rhythm, gets a good start, could be a podium contender as well. There is the Spanish rider Raul Taras on the Honda, one of the few riders on Dunlop tyres. So we're clearing the grid. We're getting ready to go racing at Macau. Paul Williams, another of the British riders. One of the British riders not on the grid, of course, is Matt Stevenson. So this is definitely a different scene to what we experienced yesterday. So everybody is happy. This is how they're lining up officially then. Costamo, Datzer, Murray, Hodson, and Mora and Perez, followed by Trummer, Torres and Hoffman, Holland, Williams and Thompson and Schutz and Monod at the back. So they're going around for one last time. And when they come back onto the grid into position, we will go racing again. So they're coming down to Mandarin really, really fast. We're looking at them. They're looking at a brick wall. Well, not a brick wall, but a solid wall straight up ahead of them. Sheridan Murray already trying to find his way around. Then it's down to Lisboa. So we're going up to about 190 miles an hour here. Really fast down this bit. And then it's hard on the brakes. You might just see a couple of rears going a little bit light. They're not going quite that fast just yet, but not far off it. It's down 40 miles an hour around here. Then you have to get really good exit on San Francisco for this climb up the hill. If you don't get that, you can lose so much time if you don't get good speed out of that corner, because that is a really steep climb up San Francisco. Then we're into the really twisty bit. 2 circuits, really. You have this twisting, snaking part of the gear circuit through the hill section, 30 meters elevation at Macau before they get down to Lisboa and then down to the fast straights again. You tend to, most short circuits, you'll have a couple of maybe long straights linked up by lots of left-right-hand combinations like they go through now. Here, all the left and right-hand combinations are up on the hillside, and the straights are down on the waterfront. Yamaha, the most successful manufacturer at Macau with 22 wins. BMW have 3, and if Costamo, or even Datsun for that matter, makes it to the checkered flag first, that will give them 4 wins, and they'll match up with the likes of Suzuki, Kawasaki and Ducati. We do have a Suzuki and a couple of Yamahas and 4 Kawasaki's on the grid, and I think it's 4 BMWs as well. Yes, it is. So a good little mix of manufacturers. I always say, I'll go back, if you just said 20 years ago, BMW and motorcycle racing. Enough said. So yeah, it's really crucial out of Melco. They've got to get Melco right, because you need to get crucial, and I cannot emphasize how crucial it is to get excellent drive out, because it's so fast on that left-hand side as you come out of the Melco hairpin to come down to this section, because you cannot afford to lose even half a second to get up to speed through along this part of the track. So folks, this is almost it. We are about to see a return properly of motorcycle racing at Macau. And whatever cloud we did have earlier today seems to have cleared. A little bit of breeze there, which will be welcome. In fact, to be honest, once they get going, they shouldn't really notice the heat. It's only when they stop now, this is when they'll suddenly feel the heat building, but it is still early in the day. It's just coming up to 8:15 in the morning. It's the final day of racing at Macau. There are still plenty of car action to come. So we're waiting for the green flag to go up, and indeed it does. Green flag is waved at the back. Everybody in position. You can hear the throttles being blipped. We're looking to see if we can see the lights, and away we go. And it's a good start by Murray. Not such a good start by Costamo. In fact, Hodson's gone past him already. Costamo without, certainly back in the 4th place as they go into Mandarin for the very first time now, on the approach to Mandarin, I should say. And Costamo is trying to pull up in the 30. In fact, he has gone ahead of Hodson, but it's Murray from Datsun, the 2 newcomers, both on the Pence 13 machines. It's Murray on the Honda release, but here comes Datsun, and here comes Costamo as well. Down to Lisboa for the very first time. Keep an eye on Costamo. Not close enough, is he? Yes, he is. He's going for Datsun on the inside, but it's Murray who leads. Costamo up in a second already. Hodson trying to stay with them. They're all around through Lisboa. But Murray is the race leader. Datsun trying to stay and reclaim second place if he can. Not a great deal of opportunity for overtaking through this section, through Solitude S's, etc., but it has happened. But Costamo, not the best of starts from pole position. He was back in 4th place. Murray with an absolute beaut of a start. We expect to see Murray coming through. In fact, indeed he is. Mora back in 5th position. Trummer is in 6th. So Perez has lost a position or 2. Already a couple of gaps appearing. So the opening lap of 8. Shoulders just kissing the wall as they go through. So coming into Police, and then the climb up Moorish. Here they go. So this is up Moorish now and into Donna Maria. And Sheridan Murray, the Portuguese rider, we have had Portuguese winners in the past, is leading. But don't look over your shoulder, Sheridan, because in fact, no, not shaping up yet, but perhaps it's all about the drive here. If Costamo can get the speed, and he does look quick, he might just fancy his chances on a move on Murray, but doesn't look close enough as they come down to Fisherman's for the very first time. It's a 5-way, in fact, I would suggest maybe a 3-way fight at the front. In fact, Datsun is now going for Costamo again, and Datsun's the one to watch. And in fact, tucks back in. I was going to suggest that Datsun could have been the rider to watch there coming out into Albend. But Murray goes over. It's his name at the top of the timesheets at the end of lap 1. Costamo, though, was in 4th at this part of the opening lap and got up into 2nd. But Datza again is taking the fight to him. And in fact, if Costamo was thinking about Murray, I would suggest he has more to think about with Datza, because Datza's right behind him, tucked in on the slipstream. We're really hitting 190 mile an hour up into Lisboa, but Datza will just have to wait his time. And it's Murray who again continues to lead. But race is on, one of course on lap 2. As long as this goes the full distance, of course, it will be one on lap number 8. Rob Hodgson just not quite managing to stay with the 2 rides in front of him. In fact, it's as you were, apart from 1st and 2nd place in qualifying. That's been flipped around. In fact, sorry, no, it's not. Of course, Murray was 3rd, wasn't he, on the grid? So he's the one that's just ahead. Back wheel just stepping out slightly. But wherever Erno Costamo goes, David Datza is following. And you can see how precise you have to be. The slightest mistake will just open up the door to anyone who's following. Oh dear, Murray just collecting a poor bird there. But it shouldn't have disrupted his confidence, or his rhythm, I should say. He goes wide, though, around Donna Maria. Maybe he prefers that to have the entrance to come into Melco. Costamo stayed tight around Donna Maria, and in fact, Murray just seems to maybe hitting that bird has just broken up his rhythm slightly. And here comes Costamo again. Murray a little bit out of shape, and Costamo's going to go for him. No, he's not close enough. In fact, I don't know whether there's still parts of that bird, a few feathers still coming out of the front of the fairing of Murray's bike. But that may well have unnerved him, but however, you can't allow things as Costamo just slides his rear into Barbend as they begin lap 3 of 8. 3/10 of a second, the distance between Murray and Costamo at the end of lap 2. Just must be having an issue with the timing screens at the moment, unable to bring you who is posting fastest laps, etc. But I can tell you, one thing we don't need the timesheets for, as Lucas Mora now looks to have a go at Rob Hodgson. But what we have got is a non-British 1, 2, 3 at the front. Costamo, though, he knows how to top a timesheet. He's done it in every session so far. So he could be just playing a waiting game on Murray. All the pressure really on Murray at the moment. He's leading the race. He's the one that may be just feeling the pressure a little bit more, knowing that he has to stay in front and he's got a very fast man behind him in Costamo. In fact, it looks as if Murray is holding up Costamo. And it could just be the fact that Costamo could say at some point, right, that's it. I've had enough, I'm going past. And I just wonder if David Datza is thinking the same thing as well. So it's as you were, as they go through here. Again, you won't see anything unless someone makes a mistake. Wrong gear selection, very rare, of course. But it's all about getting in the right position to attack the Melco hairpin, get the right line. Now, we saw Donna Murray before. Murray was quite wide. Here we go, and again, but then again, he can tuck in. You see, he'll just tuck in ahead of Costamo here. But then Costamo up the inside. Here he goes at Melco. Can he turn it in time? And Datza's going. And it's buy one, get one free. In terms of Costamo and Datza, they both go through on Murray. And you can see the way the bike just compresses as they bash down. So Erno Costamo, Sheridan Murray, having done all the hard work over the first 2 laps, finds himself duffed up at Melco. And we have a new race leader in Erno Costamo. However, David Datza, and don't discount Murray. You can see with the bikes overtaking. You won't see that with cars. As I mentioned before, no overtaking with the cars, but the bikes have license to make overtaking manoeuvres at the Macau hairpin. And Sheridan Murray, in fact, now, having been passed, I think Sheridan Murray on a jump start for, in fact, that is Paul Williams, who was back on row 4. Potential jump start. But here comes Datsa at Lisboa, but again, he'll just tuck in behind. You can see the body language, just allowing Costamo to go. And it's Finland versus Germany. BMW versus BMW. And Sheridan Murray, having led for the first couple of laps and just dropping off the speed of the front two riders, may just be thinking, well, do you know what? A third place on my first time at Macau, and not really coming from a road racing pedigree. I think he might just settle for that. So we're coming up to the halfway point of this Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, the 54th Motorcycle Grand Prix. David Datsa is staying to Costamo. He's got his teeth sunk right into the Finn's rear, and he's falling around, and he's not going to let Costamo have this one. Still waiting for some lap times to come up, unfortunately. We've got the gaps, as you can see on the screen. And that 0.3 of a second is pretty similar to what they're doing now. So into the Macau hairpin. That's it. Just following in the same tracks. Rob Hodson has been passed by Lucas Mora. Mora is up in the 5th. Oh, and a bit of movement from Datsa, and that might just cost him a little bit of ground. That gap might just open up between Costamo unless Datsa can gain it on the brakes into Fisherman's. Lucas Mora in 4th in, I think it was qualifying 1. Just kissed the wall there. Oh, ho, ho! Costamo goes light, and he was just too hot in there. Rear lifted. It is very bumpy. The riders have said that the track is bumpier this year, or seems bumpier than it has done in the past. That's the likes of Costamo and Hodson, of course. The likes of Datsa and Murray, it's their first time here, so they've no comparison. But that was a big heart-in-mouth moment for Erno Costamo as they came into the R-bend. Plenty of movement in the machine. And his legion of fans back in Finland will be cheering Erno Costamo on right now, as to David Datsa. They both know each other very well from the International Road Racing Championship. That takes place at circuits across Belgium and Germany and Finland and the Czech Republic, of course. So it's a two-way duel at the front. Costamo's been here before, David Datsa hasn't. But he's really taken to this track really well. And he's managing to stay with the Finnish rider. What it does appear, and again, we can't say anything until that checkered flag is waved, of course, but it looks like BMW will be getting their 4th victory at Macau. Out of police. Datsa continuing to hunt down Costamo. And he'll be comfortable with the gap between both riders, although he does swing a little bit wide around Donna Maria. However, that means you can carry a little bit of speed into Macau, but then, of course, you don't want to be stopping too hard into Macau because you want to carry as much speed around the turn as you can to get back on the throttle for the exit as Murray goes round and Mora still in 4th place. And it is the Costamo Datsa show. And with the gaps elsewhere down the field, you can understand why we're staying with these two riders. However, Costamo with a bigger gap between him and Datsa this time around than they did on the previous lap coming through. So across the line they go, and it was 0.3 of a second. It's now gone out to 0.7 of a second. Datsa using a K1 front tyre and a K0 on the back. Sheridan Murray, the early race leader, ploughing a lonely furrow at the back as he comes out of Mandarin, and as he goes down towards Lisboa, the front two are already there. And David Datsa will hope perhaps that he can find something maybe through this section, through to Melco, to close that gap back up. But Costamo, unfortunately, I'm not getting any sector times. There must be an issue with the timings this morning, unfortunately, because I'm not getting anything right now. So we can't even give you the sector times. But visibly, Datsa is losing ground to Costamo. And of course, tyres coming into play, etc. So Erno Costamo, as we said at the start, red hot favourite. A couple more laps to go after this. Should be. And in fact, he's pulling away now from Datsa. That's going to be over a second. It's going to be something like 1.3 seconds, I think, at the end if they maintain this speed. At the end of this lap, in fact, it's going up, and I think maybe Datsa has said, that's it, you can have this one. We've had some fun over 5.5 laps, but it's your race, Erno. Yeah, that gap has extended. That's the times at the end of lap number 1. Oh, so much movement, bounces through. Datsa still there in second place, but Costamo knows he has to get the speed to get up. Then you come in here, just dab the rear. You can see how much movement there is. You can see the way, look at the white line on the outside of the track. You see how that goes up and down. You can tell how bumpy. You can see the way that the bike's compressing, or the bikes are compressing. You can see how bumpy this is. It's almost like a wave pool, this section here. Out of turn 1. And there we are, fastest lap, 2:27.4. So we're getting, at least we're getting a lap time now. No surprise to see that. So 2 more laps, or less than 2 more laps to go. Those gaps are appearing. And I think the way the gaps are going, I think the decision to hold an 8-lap race is proving to be the correct one. We'll have 1 more lap after this. Here's Sheridan Murray. Such a great start from the South African. Well, I say South, he was born in South Africa, but he actually is of Portuguese nationality. A cracking start from him, led over the first couple of laps. However, couldn't hold on to that lead, was duffed up going into Melco. Lucas Mora looking a safe 4th place, and Julian Trummer has now passed Rob Hodson. Oh, and Camille Holland is a retirement. Is that? I'm trying to work out exactly where Camille Holland has gone. I don't think it looked like Lisboa, but I don't think it was. So Camille Holland from the Czech Republic, who'd had some electrical problems, certainly with the battery on the bike earlier this week, didn't get as much track time as he was hoping for. He's not going to make it to the end. Almost on rails, Costamo. Yeah, Datsa, as you can see, he's just said, yeah, let's bring this home in second place. Did ever so well. He's had a great week so far. That's a bit smoother from Costamo as he hits the bottom of that turn. So 2:27 is his fastest lap. So last lap, board goes out. Erno Costamo is 3.8 miles away from being the first Finnish rider to win the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. official lap record, 2:23.6, set by Stuart Easton. Glenn Irwin did that 2:23.08 on the Ducati back in 2017, but that was during qualifying, so unofficial. So Mandarin is where Holland's bike is parked up. So into Lisboa, so Lucas Moura, a solid 4th place, started on the middle of row 2. He will, of course, be the first Kawasaki of 4 home. In fact, of 3 really, because Holland will be a retirement. So looks like we'll have a Finnish winner for the very first time at Macau, the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. It may not be a classic finish to the race that we may have been hoping for, but it's been a wonderful display. And Erno Costamo knows now, just keep it focused, keep it tight. Not too far to go. The checkered flag is ready and waiting as he goes around Donna Maria for the very last time into the Melco hairpin. And this, okay, may not be an exciting end to the race, but with so many debutants, especially these 2 riders coming to Macau for the very first time, it is a sensible finish to the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. And that will do as bikes come back for the first time since 2019. So here we go, folks, for the very last time into the last turn. Una and Pekka, his 2 mechanics alongside him as he goes and takes the checkered flag. It is victory for Erno Costamo at Macau. David Datzer with a fantastic 2nd place. Over the line he goes, and Sheridan Murray delighted to take 3rd. Murray having led as well, he'll be able to tell everyone that he led a Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, and he'll get to stand on the podium as well. Lucas Moura crosses the line in 4th, and Hodson has reclaimed 5th place from Julian Trummer. Trummer would have enjoyed that as well. So we're still waiting for Perez to cross the line. So 6 have come through. Delight amongst the Penn's 13 teams, because Rico Penskoffer has a hand in all 3 of the riders on the podium. Here comes Lucas Moura to offer his congratulations as well, I would imagine, as they come down into Lisboa. So trying to determine from each other as they come into Lisboa. Big cheers for the bikes. It's great to have bikes back at Macau. Only 2 parts of the circuit where spectators are allowed to gather. The start finish, of course, and here at Lisboa. So we've had, and I'm glad to say, an incident-free race. We've gone the full distance. We've not done that at Macau for a motorbike race for some time. I don't know if we've done that in any kind of race at Macau for some time. An uninterrupted full-distance race. But these riders have come to Macau, enjoyed the experience immensely. I mean, David Datzer will stand on the podium 2 months ago, something he would have dreamed of. But Erno Costamo, perhaps deservedly, he has been the best rider from the word go this week. And that also breaks up that long line of British race winners, the likes of John McGuinness, David Jeffries, Stuart Easton, Peter Hickman, Michael Rutter. And Costamo becomes the first Scandinavian winner as well, not just from Finland, first Scandinavian bike winner. Rob Hodson, well, we're expecting maybe he would have taken the fight to Costamo, and certainly during free practice it was shaping up to be between those 2. But they've been trying a few different things with the Daffer Bet Racing Kawasaki. It's not quite happened for them today. but you know Rob Hodgson will certainly be coming back to Macau in future. Here he is on bike 44. David Datz has really impressed as well. For someone who's never been here, he looked like whether he's been doing on the games console, not that it's anything like it, of course, but just in terms of knowing his way around. But David Datzer, for me, arguably the most impressive. Yep, you could say Castamo's topped every timesheet so far, but he's been here in the past. David Datzer hasn't. Really, really, really impressive ride from Datzer. And also a good advert for the International Road Racing Championship, of course. They have some very fine riders in that series. Julian Trummer from Austria will be delighted with his result as well. So there are no spectators, obviously, of course, people living in the high rises that line the circuit. So a great way to start Sunday, sorry. Macau. A race that saw Sheridan Murray get a cracking start. And if you did miss the start for whatever reason, it was Sheridan Murray who led going into turn one. Castamo from pole, not with the best of starts. Found himself very quickly in fourth place. Behind Hodgson, who got into second, and Datzer. Datzer's on the back wheel now, then past Hodgson. And Castamo soon got up into second place. Murray led for the first couple of laps. But then on the third lap, as they came into Melco, it was Murray from Castamo, from Datzer, very tight. And Murray just left a little gap for Castamo and Datzer to go through, and he suddenly found himself shuffled from first back to third. And from that moment on, even though Datzer stayed right with him, Castamo just too powerful, too fast, and takes the race win here. They really will be cheering back home in Finland. Very deserved applause. That's what it means, folks. That is what it means. Don't start that, it'll get us all going. But David Datzer showing the emotion of finishing not only a race at Macau.
Go up on the bike and do it like this, man. Go up, stand up, stand up. Yeah!
So Erno Castamo, he has looked a cool character all week. The only time we saw him looking flustered was a little bit yesterday when we had the discussions on the start line before the cancelled first race. But there is our winner for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix in 2022. Erno Castamo of Finland on the BMW. Riding for Pens 13. Sheridan Murray, he'll be delighted as well.
Great job.
What a difference 24 hours makes. Yeah, David Datzer. Brilliant, brilliant from them. Absolutely fantastic. Mervyn White offers his congratulations to the race winner as well. But
Thank you. First class. Thank you.
So David Datzer, fantastic for the German, and Erno Castamo, the race winner, just about to take off his helmet. And just like most Finns, I think it's they seem to have one expression really, and that's it. That's probably the same with the car racing world as well. I would imagine that you don't get a lot of expression from the Finns, but a little bit of a grin. So Erno Castamo, fastest all through free practice and qualifying. There is the result, folks. Castamo is the race winner from David Datzer, and Murray taking third place. Mora in 4th. Hodson getting past Trummer to take 5th. And Nadia Schutz manages to get 12th ahead of Camille Holland, who retired, of course, and Timothée Monot, who also didn't manage to go the full race distance. So we still have a podium celebration to come. That will be a little while yet as we get ready for the cars, but that is, we were hoping to have, of course, 2 8-lap motorcycle races on the return of bikes to Macau. That's not going to happen this year. And it did look maybe at one point that we might not have any motorcycle racing at Macau, certainly with what was going on last night. But the decision to wait and hold it over till this morning has proven to be the correct one. We've had a good race. Everybody stayed upright. And nothing to really concern anybody. But yeah, certainly Costamo, fastest lap of the race as well, takes the race victory. There'll be hopefully a time for a press conference as well, but there are the machines. Another win for BMW puts them on 4 alongside Suzuki, Kawasaki and Ducati. Yamaha and Honda still the most successful manufacturers in terms of motorcycles at Macau. But Costamo puts his name alongside a lot of race winners. Now the likes of Kevin Schwantz and Cole Fogarty, who would go, after racing at Macau, would go on to win the Grand Prix 500 Championship and the World Superbike Championship respectively. So here we go then. We're getting ready for the podium.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The first trophy presentation today. Our podium for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, the 54th edition, Race 2. Third place rider, number 32, Sheridan Wesley Moraes. Congratulations. Second place rider, number 55, David Mario Datser. Congratulations. And our winner, number 38, Erno Johanny Costamo. Congratulations. National anthem for the winner.
A proud moment for Erno Costamo, a proud moment for Finland.
And now, may I have the honor to invite Mr. Poon Wing Kuhn, President of the Sports Bureau and Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organizing Committee, to present the trophies to our winning drivers. First to third place driver, number 32, Sheridan Moraes. And to David Dasser, our second place rider. And now to our champion, Erno Costamo. Congratulations. Let's get closer together for a group photo. Trophies in the air. Thank you, Mr.
So it's been a
Poon.
long time since we've had a Macau
Congratulations
motorcycle
again.
Grand Prix without a British rider, not just
And
on the
now,
top step of
a
the
moment
podium,
that our
but
winning
on the
riders have
podium
been
at
waiting
all.
for. Champagne time.
So we are going to have some champagne then. Fu Wing-Kum, who presented the awards, managing to get out of the way. So it may be breakfast time, but it's never too early for champagne. So we got there in the end, folks, with the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. I'm trying to think back to the last time there was no, in fact, it was probably before Chas Mulder won back in 1976. I think we've had a British rider on the Macau podium for bikes.
Congratulations
ever since.
again to our winning riders.
So we have a Finn, a German, and a Portuguese rider making up the podium. BMW, Honda. And also a good race for Pirelli and Metzler. Their guys taking the top 3 positions. We may still get the chance of a press conference. We'll wait and see, because we have got some car racing on the way. Until then, let's just enjoy some of the highlights from the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, the 54th here at the Gear Circuit, this time for 2022.